Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast. And today's episode is a very special episode. Today's episode is arguably the reason that Backward Point even exists, the reason that Pakistan cricket has fandom currently, the reason that we all believe in this Pakistan team, in the greens and the yellows and the whites. Today we are looking back at down memory lane. We are taking a look at Pakistan's journey through the Champions Trophy 2017. How did a team that was not even supposed to play the Champions Trophy ended up winning it all? We're going to go to the context of it all. We're going to go into the games, every single game, and then the biggest game of all, India versus Pakistan at a final ICC event. What more could we want? With me as always is Bashar Sayed, who is probably the happiest right now. Bashar, is this not the episode that we were meant to do?
I've always wanted to do more legacy podcasts, and I hope one day, somewhere in 2035, someone's like, yo, how did Pakistan actually win the Champions Trophy? And instead of going on Cricinfo or trying to find bootleg highlights on YouTube, they can find this podcast and we can walk them through the context of how Pakistan qualified for Champions Trophy, how did the tournament go match by match, and the repercussions of Pakistan winning their second ODI trophy after the 1992 ODI World Cup win.
Definitely a long wait between what Imran Khan was able to do with his men and then what Sarfraz was able to do with his men. Lots of similarities. The Islamic month of Ramadan being one of them for sure. And one thing that Imran Khan was not able to do in his campaign was to beat India, and Pakistan beat India in a knockout final. We will build up to that. This Pakistan team, this win sponsors so much happiness for everybody in this podcast and for us. And who else sponsors our podcast, Bashar? Who else sponsors the happiness?
Yashi Sports.
There we go.
They're Canada's home of cricket.
Yes, we were just there today.
We were just there. We made our first official purchase
using the
Yashi
BP
Sports.
code.
We used the BP10 code.
Yes.
You bought Asics Gel Peak cricket shoes.
Yes.
I bought some thigh pads. My thigh pads got stolen last summer, mid-season.
And I also bought trunks for my box. If you know, you know. Never joke about your box.
So my thigh pads got stolen. I had to play the last half of my season without a thigh pad, which is quite dangerous. I do have big thighs, and that just makes more surface area for the bowlers to hit.
Ladies, are you listening? Bashar has big thighs.
So finally, I have thigh pads. I can now protect my thighs in terms of
Those
any
big
injuries. The big thighs. I used the code BP10, and you know what? When I got there, I initially thought my thigh pads were too hard, but then Nasir uncle, expert advice came in, and he's like, you know what? These pads are actually they are tight, but once you use them for a few times, they'll loosen up, and then you'll finally find that they'll fit you better.
I also believe he said these are like 10 times better than the Moonwalkers.
Absolutely.
So those are words coming out from Nasir.
I will let you guys know in a few days once I use them at Nets.
100%. And the other sponsors that we highly thank from the bottom of our hearts are producers from our Patreon legacy accounts. We got them Murabani in there. We got Amasu34 in there. Really, really amazing people. They've been supporting us through Patreon for a very long time, since we've started, honestly. And shout outs to you guys for keeping the lights on, as you always say, with our Patreon subscribers and everybody else who subscribed. We love you guys, respect you guys. Everybody on the WhatsApp group chat, if you guys want to be a part of this, check out our Patreon. Everything is in the description below. Bashar, without further ado, I really want to jump into this podcast. I think this is the most important and exciting podcast that we've ever done. How did a team that was bottom ranked, a team that honestly was not even supposed to play a Champions Trophy at all, wound up winning it? Let's go from the very beginning, and before the very beginning even. Let's go in 2015 when Pakistan was almost knocked out of the Champions Trophy.
There was once an idea.
So
I want to start off with the 2015 ODI World Cup finishing. So we sort of came to the end of the Misbah ul Haq, Yunus Khan, Shahid Afridi era. Our senior most players in white ball cricket said goodbye to the ODI format. And only in a country like Pakistan can a player who did not play an ODI match for over 2 years come back into the team as ODI captain. Yes, I am talking about Azhar Ali.
Some things don't change with Pakistan cricket. Like, legacy is legacy, and I've seen this film before.
Never a dull day in Pakistan cricket. One day you could be captain, one day you could be not in the team, and then come back as captain. So we entered into the Azhar Ali era of captaincy. His first assignment was a tour to Bangladesh, where Pakistan lost 3-0. And Azhar Ali was Pakistan's ODI captain for 2 years. His captaincy record is as follows: 34 matches, 12 wins, 18 losses, a 40% win percentage.
This was around the time, Bashar, that I had been disenfranchised from Pakistan cricket. I think a lot of my fellow listeners would also agree. This is the time where Misbah, Afridi, Yunus retired. Afridi was my go-to, my gateway into cricket, as I've said many times before in this podcast. So him retiring was a big blow for me personally, as somebody who appreciates the game. And then the Azhar Ali era. Azhar Ali, as a test batsman, is definitely in my top 10, top 15 greatest Pakistani batsmen of all time. It's greatest Pakistani test players of all time for sure. But when it comes to ODI cricket, I have my reservations. And I just thought, personality-wise, going from Afridi to Misbah to Azhar Ali, it was sort of like just the aggression that I was used to, the winning nature that Misbah brought, even though he was also very cool and calm-minded. I just felt like I wasn't able to relate to that Pakistan team. Hashtag not my Pakistan team. That's the vibe that I was in. So I was completely disenfranchised until we brought Sarfraz back and captain. That then brings the Karachi agenda. Had been a very long time since a Karachi, like a national, like native Karachiite had captained the Pakistan team, maybe since Moin Khan. So we were looking at this era of with hope, prosperity, with some kind of optimism. And we looked at Sarfraz, and Sarfraz said, "I got you."
In this same era where Azhar Ali was captain, a very important thing happened in Pakistan cricket, and that was the inception of the Pakistan Super League.
Arguably changed Pakistan cricket.
Arguably has single-handedly changed Pakistan's white ball cricket. It's given a platform to players to come in, showcase their talent. It also provides a huge deal of financial stability to our domestic players who are probably not the quality to play for Pakistan, but they can still make a decent living playing in the PSL. And through the PSL, we were able to discover talents like Fakhar Zaman, Shadab Khan, Ruman Reis,
Hassan
Ali. All these guys were top domestic performers, but the PSL just gave them a platform where there's an incredible amount of eyeballs. You get noticed, you perform, and then you make your way into the Pakistan team.
And if you remember, the earlier PSLs were also extremely competitive. You had very sought after international players wanting to come in. Maybe that had to do a lot with how the PSL was conducted in Dubai, and Dubai, has its own charms and allures. So a lot of the competition in the early PSLs were just based on the merit of the international players, and it was quite high.
We got Kevin Peterson, Shane Watson, Andre Russell.
AB de Villiers was in
Villiers
there.
came in.
I believe Brendan McCullum was in there in the early ones. For
Chris Gale.
Chris Gale. So you had some really good talent in there, really uplifting these young players and making sure that, they are international caliber.
There's this famous story of a Pakistani left arm fast bowler who, in his first ever match in the PSL, because the PSL matches happen at night, the teams get there around like 5, 6 p.m. to the ground. They have dinner and then they go towards the match. And this particular player was caught by Wasim Akram filling his plate with biryani, with salan, some chicken. And Wasim Akram was like, "How the hell are you going to be bowling 4 overs after eating that much?" And this player was from Karachi. And so he's like, "I only eat biryani and bowl fast."
That should be on a t-shirt.
So
I eat biryani and bowl fast.
So through the PSL, a lot of the Pakistan guys who came into domestic and then made their way ups in the ranks, they shared the dressing room with trainers, with nutritionists, with physiotherapists, and they learned the right ways to train themselves how to eat right. And that's why the PSL was very important. Now, it is the 2017 April timeline where Azhar Ali has given up captaincy, or the captaincy is taken away from him, and has given to Sarfaraz Ahmed. And his first assignment is a tour to West Indies, where all these new players I mentioned, Hassan Ali, Shadab Khan, Fahim Ashraf, Fakhar Zaman, got an opportunity. And Pakistan won that series 2-1. So it was a good start to his captaincy. And just a couple of years back, talking about Pakistan's qualification for Champions Trophy, they were struggling at number 8, number 9 spots. And there was just one series against Sri Lanka where they played and they won. And they qualified for Champions Trophy by being number 8 by 2 points. They were right ahead of West Indies. And I also heard there was another series scheduled in that same timeline, but Pakistan refused to play it because if they had played and lost, that could have jeopardized their place in the Champions Trophy.
So we're talking about, like, you know how Ian Smith says the barest of margins? This is genuinely the barest of margins. 2 points lead over West Indies, and they qualify for a Champions Trophy in 2017. This is also happening like a couple of years before the qualification is even supposed to be happening. So this like the players who helped Pakistan qualify to the Champions Trophy were no longer even part of the Champions Trophy. Also, you also have to realize Sarfraz's captaincy also led to a very young and upcoming batsman from Lahore named Babar Azam also in the squad. All these guys were brand new. The world had not seen what these people could do, and well, we'll tell you what they could do.
Only 4 guys from the 2015 ODI World Cup squad made it to the 2017 Champions Trophy squad. Sarfaraz, Ahmed Shahzad, Haris Suhail, and Wahab Riaz.
In those 2 years, only 4 guys made it from 15 to 17 ICC trophies. And then from 17 to 19, how many of those people, Bashar, that were in the Champions Trophy played the 2019 World Cup? I want to say more than half the team. Maybe even like out of 15, maybe like 10, 11 players.
We were talking about this in the car, a drive back from Yashi Sports, and we were like, in the whole Mickey Arthur, Inzamam ul Haq, and Sarfaraz Ahmed tenure, the one thing we saw was consistent chances to players, and you barely saw any player disappearing from Pakistan cricket. Like, there's so many players in Pakistan history, you're like 1 test match, 3 ODIs, 1 T20, and like the player just disappears. In this era, I think what happened is that Inzamam, Mickey, Sarfaraz, they identified a pool of 25 players, which they kept giving opportunities. And that's why Pakistan became a pretty good team.
Especially T20s.
11 series of wins in a row.
Yeah.
Number 1 T20I team. So,
and even
chances.
The 2019 World Cup campaign, which was also pretty decent. Like, I think they had one bad game against West Indies, one game ran out, and the India game, obviously.
Pakistan beat both finalists.
Pakistan beat both finalists convincingly. And so that, faith and that trust in those players, the 25 pool that you're talking about, really paid off all the way up till 2022, I would say. And then what happened after that is it's pretty evident what happened after that. We won't go into that, but what I will go into is back into the Champions Trophy of 2017. We've sort of given you guys the context of where Pakistan cricket team was in that moment. It was frail. It had a new captain. We didn't know. It was kind of like leaderless, with Sarfraz trying to come in and helm the spot. There was brand new young players. Almost like it gave me the feeling of what the 2007 Indian team did in the T20 World Cup, the inaugural T20 World Cup, where it was all youngins, Mohamed Dhoni, a brand new captain, entrusted upon this responsibility to lead the Indian team, and he came back with a trophy. Quite similar to this was the responsibility given to Sarfaraz Ahmed. Not only that, I've always felt like, now this might just be a personal opinion, I always felt like Karachi players had to do that one extra step to just prove themselves in the team, and giving Sarfaraz the captaincy, I don't know if it was in good faith, but it was definitely, it seemed like a knock that, hey, give him the captaincy. It's all young players. This team is probably not going to do more than the group stages. We'll see about it after the fact. But Sarfaraz came out, besides, like, instead of the odds, he pulled up, and, we'll walk his journey through it, because he does have a very crucial role in one of the games to make sure that Pakistan qualify for the semi-final spot.
I don't want to get sidetracked here, but just a word on Sarfaraz Ahmed. Sarfaraz was sort of set up for failure in his whole career.
Yep.
2014, 2013, he was a backup keeper for Adnan Akmal in test matches.
Shocking.
Adnan Akmal breaks his finger. Sarfaraz Ahmed comes in, scores centuries, 50s, and just goes on an incredible run. Test match cricket does not get dropped from that. After 2015 ODI World Cup, Pakistan for some reason thought it would be a great idea to have Umar Akmal wicket keep. Drops catches, drops opportunities. He's one of our best fielders. I don't know why he was wicket keeping. And then comes a game against South Africa where Pakistan's like, let us drop one of the batsmen, bring Sarfaraz Ahmed in, have him open against Dale Steyn, Kyle Abbott, Morning Morkel.
And Australian pitches, which are already bumpy.
On New Zealand pitches. That was the New
Zealand pitches, yes.
And somehow Sarfaraz Ahmed comes in his first ODI World Cup match, scores 49, hits JP Dewey for 3 sixes, takes 6 catches.
6 catches, yeah.
And becomes man of the match. So all of these things were set up for Sarfaraz to fail, but he comes back, fights it out.
Even given the captaincy of this team, after the other early era, the Pakistan team was, like I said, completely withdrawn. Fans had lost interest. I believe there was one series where Pakistan went to England and got whipped for like 450 runs in ODI, like record-breaking bowling and batting and all that. And there was the same team under Sarfaraz Ahmed within 12 to 18 months had turned things around. They had faith, they had optimism, they had belief. And Sarfaraz once again was led to fail, but he, against all odds, pulled out.
Looking at Pakistan's group for Champions Trophy, we had India, we had South Africa, we had Sri Lanka, and Pakistan itself. India was a formidable white ball team. They've always been one in that whole Virat Kohli captaincy era, where the bantam was passed down from MS Dhoni. South Africa was the #1 ODI ranked team at the time. Prime batsmen like Faf du Plessis, Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers, like a really A-list ODI team. And then Sri Lanka, you never know, can upset anybody on any day.
I mean, Sri Lanka beat India in that Champions Trophy by, I believe, I was just looking at the stat, by 7 wickets, Bashar. India scored 321 runs and and Sri Lanka chased it in 48 overs. Kusal Min is 89 off 93. Just completely like battering India. And that also, Virat Kohli in that India versus Sri Lanka game, duck, 5-ball duck. So Sri Lanka were looking really good. Even though if they were in the bottom of the table, they beat India, who went on to play the finals. Props to them.
Pakistan's first match against India, June 4th, 2017.
I've always hated fixtures like this, where they put Pakistan against India early on, or like the very first match. It seems like Pakistan here again is led to fail in a situation like this. But
so you're saying if they faced like Sri Lanka first, had a
give them a
warm-up
warm-up game or something. Give them something or the other. Like putting in India right in front of a brand new Pakistan team where like 11 out of the 15 players are just making their first ICC debut is kind of rough.
Talking about warm-up matches, Pakistan actually had a warm-up match against Bangladesh in that same Champions Trophy. And I just saw a scorecard and Fahim Ashraf scored like a 50 off. Like he scored a really quick fire innings. And I was like, wow, Pakistan has finally found the next Abdul Razak. Turns out you watch the match footage and the pitch is skewed heavily on one side of the match. And because Fahim Ashraf was a lefty, he hit like 45, 50-meter sixes.
that's how long my sixes go. And so I would have probably also scored similar runs if I was in Fahim's place.
Pre-match, Pakistan versus India, Sarfraz comes in and he says that we will do something outside of the box against India. Lo and behold, we have Imad Wasim opening the bowling attack with Mohammad Awar in cloudy conditions.
This is when Imad Wasim was making a fashion statement. Do you remember this?
He was either trying to be Anjali from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai,
Dora the Explorer,
or he wanted to be Radhe Mohan from Tere Naam.
It was all three together. There's something was going on with the middle part and the glasses and the headband, and oh my god, like fashion disaster 101 right there and then. I was like, Pakistan should have not qualified for this trophy because this is what we have to deal with. But is this also the same era where we had Durak Malik?
No, that was 2021.
Okay, well, that's another fashion statement that I have a lot of thoughts about.
So just brushing over this match, things that stand out is Wahab Riaz's bowling spell. 87 in 8.1 overs, which is the most expensive spell in the Champions Trophy history. Just getting smashed left, right, center by Rohit Sharma, Dhawan, Virat Kohli. And the next thing that sort of stands out to me is Pakistan's fielding lapses. You can tell what sort of a Pakistan team comes on the field by just their energy in the field. And you saw basic misfields by Shadab Khan on backward point.
This is also, by the way, Shadab's first ICC tournament as well. So the nerves were very high.
Probably Shadab's like second tour with the Pakistan team.
Exactly.
Period. So it was, again, a very, very young, electric Pakistan team. But the fielding was not up to par. Pakistan dropped Yuvraj Singh when he was on 8 runs. Catch dropped by Hassan Ali. And then Yuvraj Singh managed to score 45 off 24 balls after being dropped. Virat Kohli also dropped by 43 by Fahim Ashraf, who was a sub-fielder. And he went on to score 38 off 12 balls after being dropped. Virat and Yuvraj both together added 83 off 38 balls after the drop catches. And that just shows the impact of them being dropped. I think before that, Pakistan sort of had things under control. Like Rohit Sharma played a bit of a slower knock than he typically does, made 91.
Yeah, but like Rohit Sharma, when he got out, India was 192 for 2 in 36.4. So they were way ahead of the curve and they were looking to hit more than 300 runs. They came out with 319. That was always going to be a humongous task for Pakistan to ever chase with the inexperienced batting, with Ahmed Shahzad in the top 2. That was never going to happen. And lo and behold, Ahmed Shahzad, my boy, what a wonderful tournament. He had 22 balls, 12 runs. But when it comes to the trophy receiving ceremony, he was front and center right behind Sarfraz Ahmed, the man that you are, Ahmed Shahzad. I believe you were the one who said that Ahmed Shahzad's biggest contribution to Pakistan cricket is performing horribly in the Champions Trophy and making way for Fakhar Zaman, who then hit 250s in a century to seal the lead for Pakistan. Would you kindly elaborate? Because this is where the downfall of Ahmed Shahzad kind of starts.
Yeah, I think this may have been his last ODI match he played. Just looking at the combination, Ahmed Shahzad and Nasser Ali opening together is extremely defensive. I think Ahmed Shahzad's career batting strike rate in ODIs is like 72. Azhar Ali's is like 75. So that just you're off to a horrible start. Fakhar Zaman was somebody who was averaging over 50 in list day cricket. He was an aggressive batsman who had already made his name in the PSL playing for the Hawklanders. And it was just about matter of time of giving him an opportunity. And kudos to the Pakistan team for taking the opportunity midway through the tournament after losing from India to bring in a brand new opener. And again, shout out to Fakhar Zaman for performing the way he did, because he single-handedly changed Pakistan's fate in this tournament.
I mean, Farhad Zaman was given a humongous task to come out and fill the role of Ahmed Shahzad, and not only that, perform way better than him than Ahmed Shahzad has ever done. Farhad Zaman currently in Pakistan cricket has an average over 45 and a strike rate over 95, and
He is a one of one.
I was just gonna say he's one of the only batsmen to do that in that high of a level. So whatever call was made during that tournament about was it Mickey, was it Safi, whoever was the one to make that call paid off even 8 years into the future.
One of one in Pakistan, and probably like a one of 6 or one of 7 in world cricket. So when you said in one of the clips that Fakhar Zaman is a once in a generation batsman, he genuinely is.
Yeah, 100%.
We should not be underrating his stats and his
I mean,
numbers.
we're jumping the gun a little bit, but the innings that he played in the final and even the couple of innings before that, a person like you need a certain kind of confidence in yourself to pull that off. And Farhad Zaman had that steeped in. I don't know what he was doing to be so high on optimism and high on that self-esteem, but it paid off, man.
Pakistan chasing 289 and 41 overs because of the rain happened, and just nobody really got going. Azhar Ali got to a scrappy 50. Hafiz scored 33. We barely got any partnerships going. Babar had a couple of good boundaries, and then he got out caught at I believe it was backward point by Jadeja on Umesh Yadav.
I remember Umesh Yadav was like a sensation. Wasn't he like a 150 bowler?
When he first came on, 150. Yeah. It was him and it was Varun Aaron who were like the first genuinely quick bowlers from India.
Oh, yeah, that's like a blast from the past. Umesh Yadav was the guy, man.
Pakistan ended up with 164 all out, and plus losing Wahab Riaz to an ankle injury. Ruman Reis was randomly called up. We will come back to this Ruman Reis point in the semifinals.
Was Ruman in the squad since the beginning, or was he called from Pakistan to join?
He was playing a Ramzan tournament in Pakistan, a 50 over Ramzan tournament. And he was called in midway. I think Sarfaraz and Inzamam had a chat. They were like, we need a left arm bowler who can bowl with a new ball and also bowl good in the death overs. And Ruman had been performing really well in the PSL. He had made his T20I debut earlier that year. And they just thought, he's an informed bowler. Let's call him and play Champions Trophy.
That's wild, because the next game that Pakistan has is against South Africa, who were looking formidable. I believe they were the number one side going into that T20, going into that Champions Trophy in ODI cricket.
Correct? That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So they now have to face. They've already lost from India. Now they have a Herculean task to face South Africa. Now South Africa and Pakistan have a very weird relationship in ICC trophies, which is that Pakistan finds its way almost dominating South Africa in all the respects. Immediately, what comes to mind is the semi-final against South Africa in the T20 World Cup, the match, the group stage match in 2022, where Mohammad Haris appeared and just showed how the world it's done.
2012, Umar Gul showed up.
2012, Umar Gul showed up. 2015, Sarfraz Ahmed showed up. So there is a legacy of Pakistan, even how bad they've been, to come up and beat in South Africa in an ICC trophy. That's why in 2023 we thought it was going to happen again when Haris Rogue was bowling, and that, I don't want to like invoke anybody's PTSD, but if you remember, Haris Rogue was bowling. He got, I think it was Maharaj, looked dead plumb.
Well, Shamsi.
Maybe Shamsi or Maharaj, one of those, dead plumb. They review it, misses by an inch. South Africa go on to win that match and make their way into the semifinals. So again, Pakistan find itself playing South Africa, even though it is a number one side. There was hope that something spectacular would happen, and spectacular did occur.
Imad Wasim got Hashim Amla and AB de Villiers on back-to-back deliveries. Very, very key stat that AB de Villiers has one golden duck in his entire ODI career, and that is courtesy of Imad Wasim. I may even say that Imad Wasim smoked Hashim Amla and Imad Wasim, and AB de Villiers in this match, which dented their hope. And then plus you're playing in Birmingham. I think the square was dry. So Pakistan was able to get some reverse swing on offer. And this is when Hassan Ali enters the tournament.
AB de Villiers, I just want to 1 second on how spectacular AB de Villiers was and why it's so random that Imad Wasim gets him out on the golden duck. AB de Villiers has 9,500 ODI runs, 53.5 average with a strike rate of 101, Bashar.
High score 200 and something.
High score is 176 in ODIs. And get this, only 7 times has he been out on duck, and one of them, the golden duck that you're talking about, was Imad Wasim with that Champions Trophy.
Courtesy Radhe Mohan. Courtesy Anjali from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Courtesy Dora the Explorer. What a vibe. What a flex by Imad Wasim. Like, respects, man. Imad Wasim during that era, that 2016 to 19 era, can't touch him.
There was no Nawaz Imad debate because Imad was superior.
Yeah, he was superior. There was no quite honestly. It reminds me of the Kendrick Lamar song, "They Not Like Us." That was Imad Wasim singing that.
Imad Wasim was also singing something else. If you know, you know.
If you know,
Hassan Ali comes in, gets Faf du Plessis inside edge. And then to me, probably like one of the moments of the tournament is when Hassan Ali goes around the wicket, gets the ball to tail away, gets JP Duminy nicked off to slip. And then the next delivery, when he squares up Wayne Parnell, I remember watching that match and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. I could not believe the deliveries that Hassan Ali was able to produce in the middle overs in the UK.
Do you think we should talk about Hassan Ali right now, or should we just save it to the end of the pod?
We'll talk about it till the end because I think his contributions for Pakistan winning their second ODI trophy in their entire history and being the player of the tournament, I think it can go unnoticed. We are often quick to forget, but we will come back to Hassan Ali's contribution because just in this match, 3 wickets, 2 catches, and when Hassan Ali was asked what changed between this match and the India match, he said, nothing. We were supposed to practice outdoors, but there was rain, so they had to practice indoors, and they literally did nothing.
They literally did nothing. They just changed their practice routine, and suddenly they're looking like a formidable team. This is the sort of team that seemed like at the moment that if they were to make a knockout, they would probably clear it. And just contributions from Babar and Shoaib Malik near the end. Babar 31 not out and Shoaib Malik 16 not out. They go on and chase this game on a DL method, I believe, Bashar.
Yeah.
The 119 for 3. You were talking about how important it was for Shoaib Malik and Babar Azam to continue that partnership without losing a wicket, because his rain was on the way. The DL method was going to be invoked, and in order to do that, they would have to maintain a certain certain run rate without losing a wicket. Quite similar to what Babar and Fakhr did in the 2023 World Cup against New Zealand. They were supposed to maintain a certain run rate without losing a wicket because that would have affected the DL. And they were able to do that and successfully win the match. So shout outs to both of them for match awareness. Shoaib Malik, we know, is a big cricket awareness guy. He knows how the game works really well. And he taught that to his Babar Azam as well.
That day, Shoaib Malik said to himself, I'm going to finish the job.
And that's what I'm going to
do. Just a word on Fakhr Zaman in that match. ODI debut, knockout match against the number 1 ODI team, against Rabada, against Wayne Parnell, against Morne Morkel. 31 of 23 balls, 6 boundaries, giving Pakistan that head start and just coming in, smashing the ball everywhere. Like, that was a sign of what Fakhr Zaman was going to do in the next 6 to 7 years in his international career.
And Azhar Ali making sure that Fakhr Zaman's impact is completely diluted with 9 runs and 22 deliveries and getting out literally the next over. Or is it the same over? Yeah, same over as Fakhr Zaman got out. So Azhar Ali, thumbs up.
Going into the next match.
Yeah, the next game.
Pakistan versus Sri Lanka.
This is probably my favorite game of the tournament.
This match was
after the final. Oh my God, I don't know. After the final, guys.
Calm down. Calm down.
This is my favorite game. Okay.
This match was a virtual quarterfinal because, like you said, Sri Lanka had managed to beat India and Pakistan had managed to beat South Africa. So they were both at 1 wins, 1 losses. Whoever won this match was going through to play the semifinals against England. Now, in this match, Sri Lanka at one point was 161 for 3. Sarfaraz, through the genius of his captaincy, decision-making, game awareness, he brings in his 2 strike bowlers, Junaid Khan, Mohammad Amir, in the 31st over. They get 2 wickets each. And Sri Lanka suddenly find themselves being 167 for 7. Just brilliant bowling, back-evident deliveries, inside edge bowls, nicked off to the keeper. Again, an example of Sarfaraz Ahmed's brilliant captaincy, attacking approach, having slips in place, not letting the other team continue on to score runs, and looking for wickets, looking for breakthroughs. Exactly how you win matches in ODIs these days.
Sarfaraz Ahmed was a natural born leader, I think. If you look back at the 2016 Under-19 World Cup, if you remember Anwar Ali's crazy spell, that might overshadow what Sarfaraz's captaincy had done. Pakistan was playing its final against India in that World Cup. That does not happen if their captain is not the captain, if it's not the guy to lead you to that World Cup final. And Sarfaraz has many times shown that leadership. I think one bad game away from the 2019 World Cup in Pakistan would have made a knockout again. Again, it's a shame that this man was never able to captain Pakistan in a T20 World Cup. You may chalk it up to politics, to
his own bad batting
performance, unfortunate circumstances, yada yada yada. But it is unfortunate that we did not see Sarfaraz captain Pakistan into a T20 World Cup, where I think that is his format. That's where he was most keen. He would take more chances, and he would come out the victor many times. Sarfaraz Ahmed, again, showing his wit and his reason to keep playing the game and his reason to keep looking for the win. Pakistan were chasing in this game, Bashar. And Fakhar Zaman, brilliant 50 off 36 balls. Again, setting the stage up right up the front. And Azhar Ali completely diluting that stage by 34 off 50 with 68 strike rate, completely messing everything up. Babar Azam didn't get any starts. Hafiz didn't get any starts.
Batting collapse.
It came down to Safi. At the end, it was Safi and Mohammad Amir who were the two left. Mohammad Amir has been in a situation like this before, but if you remember, there was a game, I believe, against New Zealand where Mohammad Amir and Saeed Ajmal were just batting. It was the 11th wicket. They had like some 78, 80 odd runs to win, and they got quite close.
They got to the last over, I believe.
Yeah, there was like 10, 15 runs left or something like that. I remember it was very close. It was in Dubai, that game, and Pakistan were not able to seal it. Abu Dhabi. Pakistan were not able to seal it. This was a pull shot that Saeed Ajmal played to a fine leg where he got caught out. But it showed that there was resistance available if needed by Mohammad Amir.
It showed that he can hold the bat.
He can hold the bat. He can be his own person on the crease. And 43 deliveries if you're playing in a knockout game, virtual knockout game with your captain on the side, that shows that you have the integrity to pull this off. But about this innings, Bashar, what stands out to me is 61 runs not out by Sarfaraz Ahmed, a match-winning innings, single-handedly pushing Pakistan over the line, making Pakistan believe not only that Pakistan can make it to the semis, but Pakistan might actually have a chance to win this entire thing. That comes from the top. That comes from the leadership. That comes from Sarfaraz Ahmed. There was 2 moments in this game where my heart was jumping out of my throat. Can you tell me what those 2 moments were?
Those 2 drop catches?
Those 2 drop catches on Sarfaraz batting. Now, I remember one absolutely distinctly. Malinga was bowling. Safi was batting. Safi tries to like chip it to the onside, bubbles one up, straight to mid-on. I believe it was Angelo Matthews fielding there? Tisara Pereira was fielding. Yes, Tisara Pereira was fielding there. Now that I remember it vividly. On mid-on, straightforward catch. He goes reverse cup, drops it.
Call it the miracle of Ramadan.
Nobody gets a softer catch in world cricket, Bashar, than that catch. And how did Tisara Pereira draw that? Please tell me.
Pakistan at the time needed 43 runs. And had they lost a wicket, the next batsman coming in was Hassan Ali, who was still new at the international level. The game could have gone south pretty quickly. And
probably would have gone south.
That could have been curtains for Pakistan in the Champions Trophy. The next catch that was dropped was by Sikuge Prasanna.
Whose ball was it? Was it still Malinga?
It was still Malinga ball. I feel for Malinga.
Yeah, you got to feel for Malinga, man. I think he was captaining as well.
Those 2 drop catches have forced Malinga to now become a singer. Have you seen his new songs?
I mean, if that happens to you, Bashar, you would also want to lament your worries away in song and lyric.
Bro, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds really good. It sounds really good.
I feel like you understand the language of the heartbroken.
I don't know what he's saying, but I resonate with it.
As a fast bowler whose catches have been dropped many times, you understand what the feeling is.
Absolutely, I do.
And uncrunched moments as well.
And the second time the cap was dropped, Pakistan needed 39 with 3 wickets in hand.
So Safi was like, I'm going to give you all the opportunities you guys want to win this. If you don't want to win this, I'm going to seal the deal.
There was also a very close run-out chance at the initial part of Sarfaraz's innings. And also in the first over, Azhar Ali was dropped at backward point. So something really strange happening in the field.
It's called divine intervention. And that's what Ramadan is, guys. Believe. If you don't believe, believe now.
The Ramadan with the Muslims.
The Muslim, the Ramadan, they always find a way to win an ICC trophy when that happens.
Amir and Sarfaraz, clutch partnership, 75 runs, 90 balls. And I saw this clip. It was somebody had a split screen. It was Sarfaraz Ahmed hitting the winning shot where he dabbed the ball towards third man, goes for 4. And in the other split screen was Javed Miandad. And they were both jumping once they won the match, hands in the air, pumping their arms, and a true classic match. You know, Sarfaraz was often criticized for his lack of presence with the bat in Pakistan team. And that match showed why he had the game sense, why him and Amir had that clutch partnership, and Pakistan went on to qualify for the semis.
I think, like I said, second favorite game of the tournament from Pakistan's perspective. Pakistan in this entire tournament had only lost one game against India in the beginning, and they found that redemption towards the end. I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but let's move on towards the semifinal against England, the host nation, playing. Where were they playing, Bashar? The semifinal, I believe?
Cardiff.
The Cardiff, yes. Cardiff was also the same venue where Sri Lanka and Pakistan happened. So Pakistan had some sort of experience playing there just a few days ago. Talk me through with that game.
This to me was actually the final before the final, because this was the new face of the England ODI team post 2015 ODI World Cup. England changed their mindset. They changed their players. They're like, Alistair Cook, you're out. Stuart Broad, you're out. Jimmy Anderson, you're out. We are going in with brand new players, attacking openers, attacking cricket. I think they managed to score like 400 a couple of times just in that 2-year period after the 2015 ODI World Cup. The caveat here is that England team was a fantastic England team on flat pitches. And flat pitches is what the ECB made for them in their home series. This was an ICC event. And what happened in this semifinal was that, like you mentioned, Pakistan played Sri Lanka here. They used the same exact pitch for the semis. On top of that, the square around the pitch was dry. And you best believe Pakistan was able to get reverse swing.
I think the difference between, because I don't want to compare eras again. This is, even though we have similar players playing from this Champions Trophy in the current Pakistan team, there still seems like there was a knack to win against all odds. England in this game were 141 for 3 in about 30 odd overs. And Pakistan had a secret weapon in Hassan Ali where he would come in the middle and take wickets. This was a pattern with Pakistan. And Hassan Ali, again, comes in and takes 3 wickets in the middle, giving 35 runs and 10 wickets. And just let me finish off. 141 for 3 is what England was, and they finish off with 211 in 50 overs, Bashar.
Just before we even go to the actual match, before the match, 30 minutes before the match, Roman Reis finds out that Mohammad Amir is having back spasms.
Ah, yes.
And he is
very cinematic, by the way.
He is thrown in the deep end. We spoke to him on the Islamabad podcast. We spent some time with him in Islamabad, and this is his campfire story.
Yeah.
I was flown in from Karachi in the middle of Ramadan. It is a Champions Trophy semifinal against a destructive England team. And 30 minutes before the toss, I am informed that I am about to make my ODI debut. Most guys would have probably pissed their pants at the time. But Roman Reis did not. Roman Reis was like, this is a challenge. Bring it on. Whatever England team, I'll see to it. I'll replace Amir and I'll do a great job, because he gets his first ODI wicket. Alex Sills caught at cover. There were a couple of really close calls in the first few overs Pakistan had. In the second ball, actually, Junaid Khan had a very close LBW shot against Johnny Bairstow, reviewed, denied. And the same thing happened when Roman Reis was bowling. There was also a drop catch shortly after. But just for Roman Reis to come in and bowl the spell he bowled, very economical, dot balls, gets a wicket of Alex Hales. This is the stuff of what dreams are made of. Just a week before, he was nowhere, just chilling in Karachi. Next thing you know, he is a Champions Trophy winner.
9 overs, 44 runs, 2 wickets, 26 dot balls in that spell that he bowled. Opened the bowling with Junaid Khan. Junaid Khan, also an unsung hero of the Champions Trophy. We'll come to him as well. When England were 141 for 3, they found themselves battling against the likes of Shadab Khan and Hassan Ali. Hassan Ali took 3 wickets. He always bowled the first to second change. And that was the difference, like I was saying before. Hassan Ali found ways to take wickets in the middle, something that is usually diverted to spinners. Saeed Ajmal would do that, Shahid Afridi would do that, Mohammad Hafiz would do that. You'd find spinners do that in the middle. Hardly would you find a third change or second change fast bowler to come out and take wickets. But Hassan Ali was that guy. He knew the art of bowling with the older ball. He knew the art of seaming the ball. He knew the art of reversing the ball. You saw that in this game. You saw that in the final. You saw that throughout this entire tournament, which, spoiler alert, ended up making him the player of the tournament. It was scenarios and match performances like this where a team flowing with runs, ready to score another 300 on your track, you restrict them for 211 and give your batters a chance to actually chase that.
To understand how badly Pakistan choked this England batting lineup, you have to understand that this England team had scored 300 plus in the last 12 of their 13 innings they had played.
Insane. And this is an 8th-rung Pakistan team battling against a top 2-rung England team.
Ben Stokes faces 64 balls in his innings of 34, and he fails to score a single boundary. Also, an important thing to mention in this whole match is that the Cardiff ground, Sophia Gardens, the straight boundaries are short, the side boundaries are long, and the diagonal boundaries are even longer. And Pakistan used that to their advantage. A lot of the guys from the England team were caught at the deep boundaries. Johnny Bairstow was caught on the deep end. I think Liam Plunkett was caught on the deep end. So Pakistan had bowling plans. They bowled really well. And I also read a stat where England, I think, failed to hit a boundary. They only hit one boundary in the last 11 overs, and that was off an edge.
I also want to just stay on Ben Stokes for an extra minute. I know he performed horribly with the bat, but even with the ball, he had the worst economy with the 6 bowlers that they bowled. He bowled 3.1 overs, 38 runs. He got whipped everywhere, 4 fours and 2 sixes in his spell. He was nowhere to be seen. This was one of the worst games Ben Stokes has played internationally, especially in a game like this where it was a knockout, where you're supposed to be clutch. He wasn't the Ben Stokes that we remember from 2019 or the Headingley Test. He just was not that guy yet. But this was shades of the New England team that we were going to see that would go on to win the World Cup 2 years later.
Pakistan chasing 212. On any other regular day, you would be like, Pakistan chasing 212 in a semifinal. There's got to be a collapse. Pakistan has to win this match by like 2 wickets, 3 wickets. There has to be a batting collapse somewhere in the middle overs. But Pakistan actually had an opening stand of 118 runs between Azhar Ali and Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman, who absolutely came in guns blazing, 57 of 58 balls, 7 fours, 1 6, smashing Mark Wood, smashing Jake Ball, Liam Plunkett, and he was a man on a mission.
I think even before the innings against India that he plays in the final, this was the innings that finally solidified Fakhar Zaman as your number 2 batsman in the team and had finally put curtains on Ahmed Shahzad. And, there's a grin on my face thinking about it because the Ahmed Shahzad era was so toxic for all Pakistan cricket fans who were watching cricket at the time. It was just like, he seemed like just a kiss ass. He seemed like he was somebody who would just appease to any captain. First it was Shahid Afridi, then it was Misbah. It just seemed like a yes man that, his head was higher than it should be. He thought he was Virat Kohli, but he actually wasn't even 10% of Virat. And it just seemed like Pakistan cricket fans and Pakistan cricket team deserved better at that moment. And again, the blessings of Ramadan, Bashar, if you don't believe, start believing. This is the moment where you're like, God has given us a break in the name of Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman scores 57 off 58, 98 strike rate. He was playing again a blistering knock right next to Azhar Ali, who actually kind of held his own in this game. This is where Azhar Ali starts getting into the momentum of it all. 76 off 100, but he's there with Fakhar Zaman supporting him. 118 run stand, completely just knocking Pakistan straight into the finals. After that stand, it would have been really hard for Pakistan to collapse. And Babar Azam and Mohammad Hafiz were not out. Babar with 38, Hafiz with 31, made sure that they sought themselves over the line.
And Pakistan won this match by 8 wickets and they demolish England.
Dominating performance.
That's when probably teams are like, okay, this is the Pakistan, the mercurial Pakistan team is here and you better watch out. Because when they're on such a roll where they're beating South Africa, Sri Lanka, and single-handedly, one-sidedly beating England, who were probably the tournament favorites at the time, that just shows you how dangerous Pakistan was.
If you remember, there was a promo for the Champions Trophy, Bashar, where all the commentators were asked their predictions for who the final was going to be played. Ricky Ponting said India versus Australia. Somebody said India versus England. I believe Sangakkara was there as well. Everybody had their own opinions. Nobody had Pakistan versus India to play the final except for one man. Now, I believe this is the reason that this man was given and bestowed upon the responsibility of leading the Pakistan Cricket Board into the abyss is a different question, but he was definitely the person that was given that responsibility, and I believe it was bestowed upon him because of his good character and because of the prediction that he made on this fateful day, which was Ramiz Raja, brother of who's his brother?
Wasim Raja.
Wasim Raja. Sorry, I was on a soliloquy.
Son of
Muhammad Raja. I don't know. He comes out. Rasim. No, Ramiz Raja comes. Wasim Raja from the grave. No. Ramiz Raja comes out on the ICC broadcast and says, Pakistan versus India final, Pakistan to win.
People called him a madman. I still do.
Called him a madman.
I still call him a madman.
I mean, for different reasons, but at that time, the ubiquitous commentator from Pakistan, a ICC World Cup winner, he caught the last ball from Imran Khan, man. Like, he was the guy. He's forever etched in Pakistan history. Comes out and makes a statement like that. You're like, what is he on? What is he drinking? I want some of that. But he knew more than us, Bashar, because as soon as India, I believe they beat...
The very interesting stat about the Champions Trophy is that India had played Bangladesh
in the semifinals.
Right?
Yeah, that was the crazy
It's
thing.
because Australia's games got washed out.
Two of the games were washed out.
And so that's Bangladesh had upset New Zealand, I think, and they were able to qualify for the semis.
So India walked through the semifinals and beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets. Ironically, that's what Pakistan did as well. They also won by 8 wickets. India make it to the finals. Boom, Pakistan is in the finals now again.
I think on a personal note,
and Ramiz Raja is like, I bet everything in my life, and now I'm going to be a trillionaire.
On a personal note, this is the same time where we're sort of at the last 10 days of Ramadan.
Yes.
And backward point,
before backward point was backward point.
Before backward point was backward point.
Before all of you guys were here.
In that Ramadan, we had promised that we would spend the last 10 days in the Itikaf, which basically means that we were locked into a masjid. Praying, focusing,
reading the Quran,
reading, no phones, no laptops,
no phones was huge,
no technology. You're basically like on a spiritual retreat.
Our only worldly connection was our uncle who would come and pray Tarawih with us after the Isha prayers and would just, tell us this, that, and the other. We had at that time already seen the semi-final and we were going into the Itikaf with the final 4 or 5 days away, or maybe a week away. And boy, were we stressed.
I remember that night of the final and I could not sleep.
Yeah, I could not sleep either. We were like, should we break Itikaf? Like, we were this close. We were like, Allah will understand. We should break Itikaf. We should go watch this game. But something pulled us back. And honestly, we've said the story on the Shadab Khan podcast with Islamabad United's podcast. If you guys haven't checked that out, what are you guys doing? We told Sadab to his face, we're like, I believe that you guys won the Champions Trophy final. It's because that you and I, Bashar and I, were in Itikaf and we were praying. We were making dua. And he was like, that's the case. We've locked it.
For that to even happen is actually insane for me to comprehend.
Look at that full circle moment for us. We're now at the final stage. Pakistan and India are playing the final. Ramiz Raja is being called a madman, and yet a mad genius at the same time. You and I are locked in a mosque in Pickering, Ontario. We don't know what the score is. And literally 8 years or 7 years later, you and I are sitting in front of Shadab Khan, who took one of the most iconic catches in Pakistan history. And like right after Ramiz Raja's catch, honestly, in the World Cup final, who had made an insane call with Pakistan playing in, like, the world works in mysterious ways. And we found ourselves for a brief moment in the center of it. And when I was sitting in front of Shadab Khan, there was a moment where I was extremely emotional, just thinking about all of that. Like the fact that you and I host a cricket podcast and we were not able to see Pakistan's biggest moment in the past 30 years live, but we got so many amazing other things. We got our fan base, we got this podcast, we got the Islamabad United podcast, we talked to Shadab Khan who took that. Like, it's weird to me.
I get emotional just thinking about it, like just to process the whole thing, because ultimately you are cricket fans and you start the podcast because you have a passion for the game, and to look back and be like, yo, I couldn't witness one of Pakistan's biggest cricketing moments. It does get me emotional, but I think I'm pretty grateful for the fact that how things have panned out since then. Just that night of the final, I remember I couldn't sleep. And when I did close my eyes for a bit, I was getting match highlights in my dreams. I'm not like, I woke up a couple of times, I went back to sleep. There were more match highlights coming into my dreams.
For me, it was like I was watching a different game, like a parallel universe. Like I remember I woke up once or twice in the night. One time Pakistan had won by like insane, like 10 wickets, beaten like Virat Kohli was out for like zero. It was very close to what actually happened in real life. Like, and like it was just crazy, like fever dreams in the masjid, in itikaf. And like I just couldn't believe myself. And so we woke up that morning, and we were all sleeping on the masjid floor, and you and I and our friend Mohsin were sleeping together, and there was another person next to you who was sleeping on the other side, and he was an Indian brother, and he had his phone. I remember he had his phone, and I remember the night before as well, like the imam had announced that there's a lot of like worldly talks happening, and people are talking about cricket and this, that, and the other, and this should not be happening, and this is wrong. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is definitely a thing, because there was a lot of murmur, a lot of desis in that masjid, a lot of people from the subcontinent, and there was a lot of murmur about the cricket in the India versus Pakistan final. So in the morning, we wake up. The match has probably been done for like 6 hours, and we ask this Indian brother if we could borrow his phone. But then that was the most that we thought we could stretch it out. Like, we don't want to be like part of the world, like worldly affairs, but we want to make sure that kind of connected to this one thing. And I think you had the phone, and you looked up ESPN Cricket Info, and then what happened?
The phone dropped in my hand.
You could not believe what was happening.
Because I had dreams the night before of the match, but not even in my dreams can I imagine Pakistan scores 340 odd and we beat India by 180 runs. Like, not in my wildest dreams can I even think of that happening. So when I saw a scorecard, immediately the first thing that popped up on Cricket Info, and I get emotional thinking about is the Pakistan team wearing those white coats.
Oh my, yes.
And I'm like, yo, that's my boys.
Yeah.
That's my boys.
And then
they won.
I remember you screamed. I dropped your phone, and I was standing next to you. I couldn't see because you were shaking so much, and the phone dropped. And then like our friend was there, and then the Indian brother was also asking, and like people started coming up and seeing like what's going on, because everybody was like trying to not think about the cricket match. And then once you screamed, the focus broke, and everybody was like, "What's happening?" And we all saw the game. I saw a scorecard 3 times. I saw Fakhar Zaman's century. I saw Amir getting Kohli out. Again, we had not seen a single delivery bowled. So yeah, I was just reading the Cricket Info highlights, and I saw the picture of the boys holding the trophy up in the white coats, and honestly, could not believe. And like, I could not believe it. And that evening, our uncle, our mamu, who would show up occasionally during the Taraweehs, brought a box of sweets for us. And right after Isha, right before Taraweeh, there's like a 10-minute gap. He relayed every single detail in excruciatingly like precise details.
Fakhar Zaman gets out. It's a no ball. And he comes back, scores a century.
Everything he said, I was like, no way. Like, I thought
Virat
he
Kohli
was
gets
making it
dropped.
up.
Neck ball gets caught. Like, what is going on?
Like, we could not believe what the words, the sounds hitting my ear. I could not believe it. And it was 2 days before Eid or 3 days before Eid. And those last 3 days were like I hope God like approves and like accepts our prayers, because I don't know how I prayed the last 3 days. We go home on Chandrat, and it was definitely like the eve of Eid for us. We go home. I think we watched that highlight.
There was a 45-minute extended highlight. We watched that.
I think we watched that like 6-7 times that night. We were like we kept being like, play it again. Oh, I want to see that scene again. Play it again. And wherever you would start, you would just watch the whole thing to the end. And we were watching, like, Twitter was crazy, Facebook was crazy. Everybody was posting clips and highlights and moments, and it was just the most amazing time being online as a cricket fan, as a Pakistani. This was a time where Pakistan was in isolation, but Pakistan was there was no home cricket being played in Pakistan, and it was completely deprived of any kind of support from the international world. It seemed like we were completely isolated in that regard. And to come out winning an ICC trophy, beating India, the biggest Goliath, it was just, I still think about it, and those 15 men, even MS Shahzad, I'll put him in that count. Even MS Shahzad, I'll put him in that count, have a special place in my heart because of what they did, what it meant to me as a child. It directly leads into this podcast. It directly leads into my fandom. That's the feeling I'm going to transfer off to my son, to my children. And it's like, if that hadn't happened, a lot of things in my life wouldn't have happened. That Champions Trophy is the reason that you and I decided to go watch the World Cup in England in 2019. It's where I met my wife. Like, that butterfly effect goes, that ripples, I don't even know how far we'll go and see it. But we haven't even talked about the game yet. The context, the pretext, the context of it all. It was just important to let everybody know how important this game was for us.
India wins the toss. Virat Kohli decides to bowl first. I think he backed himself and his own ability to chase in big matches. But I think what he underestimated was the pressure of a final. Talk about the moments
This
of
is
this
also,
match.
by the way, the iconic video viral meme of the guy screaming at Virat Kohli, Virat or Kohli, nahi hota tujhse chase. Does everybody remember that? Kohli, nahi hota tujhse chase. That guy is my mascot.
Chase Newell.
He called it. He had the conviction that Fakhar Zaman had. He had the conviction that Mickey Arthur had, that Safi had. He had it in him somehow, some way. And he said it straight to Kohli's face and all of that. Whoever you are, sir.
Find him, tag him, send him this clip.
I salute you. I salute you. You are the MVP.
I think it's when Pakistan beats England in semifinals, when Fakhar Zaman gets out on a no ball and scores a century.
Divine intervention.
That's when you're like, okay, nothing can stop Pakistan from winning from now on.
Yeah.
And talking about that iconic moment, Bumrah gets Fakhar Zaman nicked off to MS Dhoni. Fakhar Zaman is walking back towards the pavilion. They check the no ball. He is over the line.
Just by like barely an inch. Buries the margins.
Fakhar Zaman is called back. He scores.
He has a cheeky smile. Remember that?
There's also a story going on where Fakhar, I think, told Shadab the night before the match that he had a dream. He told Shadab that, you know, all these guys get out of a no ball. Why not me? And the next match he plays gets out on a no ball. Fakhar was also very sick before that match. Something about Pakistan's main batsman being sick before a major match.
NZ
back in 92 was very sick. And Mohan Khan said, you're going to play the match even if you go on a stretcher. Scores 60 off like 37 balls.
Yeah, insane.
Ridiculous knock. One of the best knocks in Pakistan's ODI history. And then comes Fakhar Zaman. Before Fakhar got going, we have to give credit to Azhar Ali, who sort of carried the innings before Fakhar got himself comfortable. Very unfortunate that he got run out, but he was the one who took on Bhuvneshwar, he took on Bumrah, he took on Ashwin, and right when he got going, gets unfortunately run out.
Fakhar Zaman goes off to score 114 off 106. When he went out, Pakistan were 200 for 2 in 33 overs.
He smashed Ashwin, smashed Jadeja, smashed Yuvraj. Like nothing he could do was like every shot he played was going for the boundary.
Babar was standing on there with Mohammad Hafiz, who then I believe they scored like a 50-60 odd run partnership, blistering knock from Mohammad Hafiz. Babar scores 46 off 52. I still remember that ball by Jadhav, which got the better of we got the better of Babar Azam. I really wish that he had scored a 50 out there.
It's not a bad knock though. 46.
Not a bad knock. Definitely not a bad knock, but I wish he had scored that milestone. He had never scored a 50 in that Champions Trophy. He had still averaged 44, which was an interesting, neat stat for me. I believe it was because of the 2 not-outs that he had in the 2 games before, but Babar played really well there. But it was Hafiz and Imad Wasim near the end, Bashar, who made sure Pakistan had such a mammoth total that even the mighty Indians would look up and be like, how in the world are we going to chase that?
I think that Hafiz knock is extremely underrated. If Hafiz does not score that 57 of 37 balls, Pakistan don't get to 338. And 338 just psychologically is humongous total. I think 310 or even 300 on that flat pitch at the Oval where the sun is shining down on it would have been a walk in the park. But that 338, it's over on a ball. Every dot ball you play, the required rate is climbing.
You know what a crazy stat is about this final? Jasprit Bumrah went for 68 off 9 overs with an economy of 7.55. And this is the same man whose economy in the 2024 T20 World Cup was just over 4.
Insane stat.
Wild.
Ball 3 no balls.
One of them was a bit, what?
And remember that no ball image became a meme? I think one police Twitter account was like, make sure you don't cross the line because it has consequences.
Of course. But sometimes I become morbid and I think about these horrible alternate timelines where Fakhar Zaman gets out and it's not a no ball. What happens then? Does Babar score a century? Does Malik score a century? does anybody else step up, or does Pakistan lose that final again?
That's when you go back to think about fate and destiny. I think Fakhar Zaman was meant to score that century, whether it was because of a no ball or not. Like some things are just meant to be. And I think we've lived life enough that there's been so many instances where like, are we going to get that? Are we not going to get that? But sometimes when you have the butterfly effect, right, you stop chasing things, then things suddenly come to you.
I think this is a perfect segue into the divine intervention of that Muhammad Amr smell.
I think Muhammad Amr is coming into this match recovering from back spasms, and still by this point he is called a fixer by Pakistanis. There is a huge contingent of Pakistani fans who are like, he should have never come back into the Pakistan team. You know, once a thief, always a thief. And Amir is here on a mission. He sees Indian batting lineup. He sees some swing on offer, and he sees a chance of redemption.
Just a sniff. He saw just a sniff. I think that 4 minutes between deliveries, let me just double check the delivery here. Between deliveries 2.3 and 2.4, the second innings of the ICC Champions Trophy final of 2017 might go down as not just cinema, but the highest order of cinema, Oscar-winning cinema.
What about the Rohit setup?
Like we can talk about
the two going across.
I know what you're trying to do here, but nothing, I repeat, nothing beats the feeling of edging Virat Kohli, Azhar Ali dropping him, the next delivery, edging him again, and Shadab Khan catching 1 point, which is arguably a more difficult catch. Like nothing beats that feeling. Everything was so on point. I can hear the commentary like music in my ears right now. The way that I think Sourav Ganguly and Nasir Hussain were going back and forth. Nasir Hussain comes out with the most iconic cricket line of Pakistan cricket of all time. Pakistan cricket, 1 minute down, next minute up. It just, that whole memory, I've seen it so many times, etched into my brain. Like I close my eyes and it's tattooed behind my eyelids. That's how ubiquitous and important that moment is for Pakistan cricket fans. And, you know, like you said it up really well. Amir was accused of many things. You know, he had served time for his misdemeanors and his crimes. And he was trying to find a way back into the hearts of Pakistanis. And man, getting out the world's best batsman in his prime for 5 runs in the ICC cricket tournament final, that's how you do it.
I'll give you a stat. Muhammad Amir has played 2 finals of ICC tournaments, and he has gotten a wicket in the first over of both of those finals. He set up Dilshan beautifully in the 09 T20 World Cup final. And the setup against Rohit, 2 going across, 1 coming back in. Just beautiful stuff. This is what dreams are made of. And then, like you mentioned, when I get an opportunity to talk to my friends, cricket fans, the one thing I always ask them is, how did you feel between the moment that Azhar Ali dropped Virat Kohli and when Shadab Khan caught Virat Kohli? Because I never got an opportunity to live that. And I always imagine myself, if I was living through that, I would probably like smash my TV or just abused the hell out of Azhar Ali. And that 1 minute period in between balls, I'm pretty sure Azhar Ali saw his whole life flash by him.
Azhar Ali also a vocal, you know, a person who did not want Mohammad Amir back in the team. Still to this end, I think I just listened to a podcast of his recently where he said the same thing, where he was not a big fan of Amir coming back into the team. He had his own reservations, and then he goes off and drops Virat Kohli off Mohammad Amir's delivery. What Amir said in response of that is live on TV. Everybody can check out his response. Let's talk about Junaid Khan a little bit, because I feel like he was one of the unsung heroes of this World Cup. Goes quite missed between the havoc of Mohammad Amir and Fakhar Zaman.
Junaid Khan was Pakistan's second highest wicket taker. The game against England, he took the massive wicket of Jos Buttler. In this match, he comes in, takes a wicket of Ravindra Jadeja. And it's like whenever Sarfaraz called upon him to get a wicket in the middle overs, he came in and he had that solid partnership with Hassan Ali. And Hassan even picked up 3 wickets in this match. And quite iconically, he picked up the match-winning wicket caught by Sarfaraz and called in by Ramiz Raja. Pakistan wins. Their second ODI trophy, their first since the 09 T20 World Cup. and it's just absolute scenes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of performances in the middle there, but like Shalab Khan, the bad hit moment, where he goes, where Yuvraj Singh comes forward and hits right in the pad, and he has the gall to go up to his captain. I believe he only had one review at the time as well in ODI cricket. Goes to his captain, he's like, "Take the review. I know this guy hit the pad first. It's a plum LBW," and he was right. And again, we had the moment sitting in front of Shalab Khan, having him relay that moment live back to us. Insane scenes for us, especially cricket fans. Man, this was just like the cricket was complete at that time. It was in our lifetime. I believe 21 or 20 when this game happened. I was very young. You were 18. It was right in the prime of our lives. Defined our love for Pakistan cricket. Reinvigorated our hope for this team. And this is probably why we still sit here in front of you guys, in front of everybody, still trying to make sense of it all because we believe in what we believed then in 2017. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's come back full circle that Champions Trophy is now being held in Pakistan. Pakistan are defending champions of the trophy. They do play India in Dubai. You and I have the opportunity to fly to India to finally witness.
Fly to Dubai.
What did I say?
India.
Fly to Dubai. Yes, my bad. Fly there, witness the game live in front of us, and have the opportunity to maybe be part of something historic again. So it's like it's an amazing turn of events, and life is really funny how it keeps maneuvering and finding its way into new and amazing things. But man, closing thoughts on this ICC Champions Trophy 2017.
I think I want to just talk a bit about the unsung heroes of the Champions Trophy. Oftentimes you talk about the Champions Trophy and you're like, okay, Fakhar Zaman century, Mohammad Amir's spell, Hassan Ali man at the tournament. But Junaid Khan was your second highest wicket taker. 8 wickets at an average of around 19. Azhar Ali was your second highest run scorer, right? Initially, when in the final, when Fakhar Zaman was struggling, Azhar Ali was helping build that partnership. Mohammad Hafiz, if he does not score that quick fire 57 in the last few overs in the final, Pakistan does not get that 338, and they don't get to a more formidable total. Rahman Race debuts in a Champions Trophy semi-final. If he doesn't get those 2 wickets, if he doesn't help Pakistan win, they never go to the final. So all of these guys have an integral role to play in Pakistan's win. And when we look back on those contributions, I think their name should also be put up. Just a last word on Hassan Ali. Only the second player in Pakistan's cricketing history to be receiving the Player of the Tournament award. 13 wickets, got that Hublot watch. And I think because of his recent performances, we sometimes forget that he was so key for Pakistan winning the Champions Trophy. Getting those wickets in the middle overs, that iconic celebration that was etched into our memories. We shouldn't have the recency bias. So we're like, Hassan Ali, oh, the guy who dropped Matthew Wade. No. Hassan Ali, the guy who was the player of the tournament, the 2017 Champions Trophy winner, Pakistan.
I totally agree. I think Pakistani fans have a really bad habit of that recency bias that you were talking about. Hassan Ali's contribution to Pakistan cricket outweighs his 1 or 2 mishaps that may have led to Pakistan being knocked out or not being knocked out. He remains to be like one of 2 people. The other person who has that ICC champion player of the tournament award is Shahid Afridi. He finds himself in really high esteemed company, and it's because he did something for Pakistan that no other fast bowler could do, especially in the middle overs. He took wickets when Pakistan needed wickets, and for that, I will always salute Hassan Ali for making me believe in this team, for making me believe in a new era of Pakistan cricket. For Sarfraz Ahmed, who led Pakistan from the darkness into the light and into the white coats, I should say. And this whole team, this era lives rent free in my mind. Whenever somebody talks about Pakistan cricket to me, I bring them back to this moment of how down and distraught this Pakistan team was, not on just barely making themselves into the Champions Trophy and then finding themselves winning it all. Worst times have come and gone. If Pakistan can make it through that, Pakistan can make it through anything. And that's the one thing that keeps my hope alive, keeps my optimism high, and makes me believe in this team. So thank you, Sarfraz Ahmed. Thank you, Pakistan cricket team, for helping us relive these amazing memories. Champions Trophy 2025 is around the corner, Bashar. We hope Pakistan finds its way again into a final, into a win, again into the white coats. That's just our bias speaking. Thank you guys for tuning in, for checking everything out. If you guys want,
we'd love to hear your thoughts, your memories of how Pakistan won the Champions Trophy. Let us know in the comment section below. Yep. And we'd love to hear what you guys remember of that.
check out all the description of the notes in the description. Check out the Patreon, the Discord, Yashi Sports, all of that. We will see you guys in the next episode. This high will remain with me for a long time. And yeah, thank you guys for checking us everything out.
Cheers.